All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Floyd Mayweather was recently on, well, multiple articles and stuff like that, and he says that he is tired of Canelo Alvarez picking certain opponents, and basically saying the cherry picking has to stop. And you guys know that Canelo Alvarez can always come with the same answer to Floyd Mayweather. You're just a hater at the end of the day. So I'm gonna break it down to y'all. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. Please sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, and also share the video to get all your latest boxing news. With that being said, it looks like Floyd Mayweather was recently, and it's a few articles online that I stumble upon basically, and we heard this from Floyd on multiple occasions. Actually, Floyd said this on Fight Hype as well. You guys can go check it out on Fight Hype when he was saying that Canelo, steroids. I'm sure everybody remember that. And I feel like that Floyd Mayweather, of course he's Floyd. He's going to say stuff. He can do whatever he wants. But is Floyd lying saying that Canelo Alvarez is a cherry picker? The question is, maybe he is a cherry picker, maybe he isn't. Who knows? Well, we can't really say Canelo Alvarez cherry picking, because if you look at the trainer in Eddie Reynoso is the puppet master for Canelo Alvarez. You guys ever heard Canelo Alvarez stated that I don't make the fights, it's up to Eddie Reynoso? So I'm assuming Eddie Reynoso is his trainer and manager. So wherever Eddie Reynoso goes, that's where they're gonna fight. So maybe Canelo Alvarez isn't the duck artist like people put him as a duck artist. Maybe Eddie Reynoso is the duck artist. Maybe Eddie Reynoso is the reason why Canelo Alvarez didn't get the big fights. You guys remember when Eddie Reynoso has says that black fighters are different, black fighters are very slick, and so on and so forth. Well, Eddie Reynoso was not confident to make that fight between Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson. He was looking to make a fight with Emmanuel Navarrete and Oscar Valdez, and even Bob Arum stated himself that they wasn't interested in making that fight with Shakur Stevenson. And you guys know Bob Arum, he's not the biggest guy on unifying the belts and stuff like that. And it's going to be really curious on how Shakur Stevenson is going to move, because Shakur Stevenson, he's probably going to look for undisputed and stuff like that. So we're going to see if Bob is going to continue to let Shakur collect them belts or not. So whatever the case may be, a lot of people wants to run with the statement that Canelo Alvarez ducked Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Andre, David Benavidez, and a lot of guys that he was supposed to fight and stuff like that. It's hard for me to dispute that. Like I said before, I'm a Canelo Alvarez fan, and I truly believe that Canelo Alvarez is going to fight all these guys. I'm seeing Canelo Alvarez fighting these guys when they're not looking their best. I got to keep it 100. I think Canelo Alvarez, he was certain on fighting Jamal Charlo, but when David Benavidez came in the mix, Canelo Alvarez says, I don't want to fight any Mexican fighters. A lot of stuff that Canelo Alvarez and Eddie Reynoso do is suspect, but I'm going to put the full blame on Eddie Reynoso, because I don't think Eddie Reynoso never wanted these fights for Canelo Alvarez. He never wanted these big fights for Canelo Alvarez to get in the ring with a guy that will trouble Canelo Alvarez style. Now, Canelo Alvarez has a great mindset. Canelo Alvarez, he's always in the gym. He's always staying credit to the sport of boxing. And I do believe Canelo Alvarez beats all these guys, because you look at a Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andre 3 to 4 years ago, I would have picked them to beat Canelo Alvarez. But the way that they're moving, the way the competition that they're fighting, it's just going to be hard for me to believe that they can beat him. Now, some people still believe that Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andre and maybe David Benavidez beat Canelo Alvarez. Who knows? We got to see the fight. That's if Eddie Reynoso allows Canelo Alvarez to move the proper and rectify his name really in the Hall of Fame. And at this point, Canelo Alvarez is just padding the stats. And Eddie Reynoso is not testing and challenging Canelo Alvarez with these guys. I think Canelo Alvarez style, despite that Canelo Alvarez doesn't have the best footwork in the world, I still think that he presents a lot of problem to these guys into the sport of boxing. Now, I think he can beat all of them because of the skill set and the dedication within Canelo Alvarez in the sport of boxing. Now, ever since he lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr., Canelo Alvarez says he has learned since then. Well, I truly believe that Eddie Reynoso, when he seen that Canelo Alvarez lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr., he was not going to put Canelo Alvarez in the ring with any more slick black fighters. I don't think Canelo Alvarez is ducking slick black fighters. I think Canelo Alvarez, he wants to fight. I know deep down on the inside he wants to fight these guys. He's tired of these people saying that he's ducking this and ducking that. And eventually Canelo Alvarez is going to be in a certain situation like Gervonta Tank Davis. Everybody's saying that Gervonta Tank Davis ain't fighting the best opposition. He need to fight someone. Well, now Gervonta Tank Davis is leaving Floyd Mayweather and he's looking to fight the best opposition and so on and so forth. Even his coach says, Calvin Ford stated that Gervonta Tank Davis and him is going to be looking for the big fights here on out. So I'm hoping that Canelo Alvarez gets these big fights. I truly believe he's going to fight all these guys. We know a lot of people like to bring up that Canelo Alvarez cheated. Okay, I understand that he cheated. Okay, that's a blemish on his record that we can't deny or anything like that. He did cheat it. He did mess up, but he served his suspended. A lot of people feel like once you cheat in the sport of boxing, you should be kicked out immediately. I don't think that's the case. I think Canelo Alvarez, maybe I think Canelo Alvarez is a stand-up dude. Maybe he wasn't trying to cheat. Maybe Eddie Reynoso feel like Canelo Alvarez was slowing down on certain things. But at the end of the day, if you cheat, you cheat. So it's just at the end of the day, guys, it's just I don't know what to say about that scenario. You can consider Canelo Alvarez a cheater if you want. I'm gonna say, look, he cheated, but he's back in the ring. He's making up for it. He did his time and he served a suspension of cheating and stuff like that. And so do I agree with Floyd Mayweather that Canelo Alvarez is a cherry pick? I don't know. In your guys' opinions, fact, whatever the case may be, maybe Canelo Alvarez is a cherry pick to you. I don't believe Canelo Alvarez is a cherry pick. I believe that Eddie Reynoso, his trainer, is holding Canelo Alvarez back from fighting these guys. I think Canelo Alvarez, even he stated on Mike Tyson podcast, he wants to fight everybody. And Eddie Reynoso is not confident that Canelo Alvarez could beat these guys. I'm even confident that Canelo Alvarez can beat these guys. I'm not a Canelo Alvarez hater. I always liked the Canelo Alvarez, despite that even if he did cheat it, he did admit that something was up, and he served his suspension and stuff like that. You guys can have your own opinion about Canelo Alvarez. I think Canelo Alvarez is the goods. I think he has all the tools and all the skill set in the world to beat every single fighter. And do I think Floyd Mayweather still has some tendency or jealousy against Canelo Alvarez? Absolutely, because Floyd Mayweather, isn't in the game no more. Canelo Alvarez just seems to take over the role of Floyd Mayweather after Floyd Mayweather passed the torch to Canelo Alvarez. And I think that, Floyd misses in that spotlight, and everybody's most of the Mexican fans is focused on Canelo Alvarez because that's their guy. They're riding for their guy. They're riding for their countryman. Just like as us black boxing fans, I used to ride for Floyd Mayweather a lot. I liked Floyd Mayweather. I think Floyd Mayweather was an exceptional fighter, and I'm still going to ride with Floyd Mayweather despite the stuff that he did outside the sport of boxing. I'm going to still ride with Floyd Mayweather, just like the Mexicans ride for their countryman and Canelo Alvarez. Y'all may call him Drug Nello, Ped Nello, and all this other stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and criticize a fighter too much. Now, I will criticize Terrence Crawford because the stuff that Terrence Crawford said out of his mouth is just completely absurd. I have to get on Terrence Crawford case, but I'm not going to downgrade Terrence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez. I'm going to try to keep it neutral as I possibly can. You can have your opinions at the end of the day about Canelo Alvarez. You can think he's a drug cheat, thinks he's a drug cheat and stuff like that. But in my opinion, in my defense, I think Canelo Alvarez is going to beat these guys. I think Canelo Alvarez just has the mindset to offset a lot of these guys and just potentially just, become the really true Mexican king of the sport of boxing and be that face of the sport of boxing. So who knows what the future holds for Canelo Alvarez. I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he gives us the big fights that we want to see so he can shut us diehard boxing fans up and the other boxing fans But, you know, even if Canelo beat all these guys, you know, you're going to have these typical boxing fans that say, oh, Canelo, I knew he was going to beat all these guys with the nothing. Well, those guys ain't true boxing fans. They just typical boxing fans that just wants to see another man lose and not get his shine at the end of the day. So, with that being said, Floyd Mayweather says that Canelo Alvarez is a cherry pick and he needs to stop ducking fighters. And he really wants Canelo to fight Benavidez, Charlo, Andre, all the top guys that he should have fought before. So that's just my opinion on the situation. You guys let me know what you think. So with that being said, guys, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.